Hi family, and welcome back to Cook with Shan. It is Sunday and I'm going to show you how we make stewed chicken in Trinidad and Tobago. Usually we would use limes, vinegar and even flour to cut the freshness out of our meats, especially chicken. Yeah, we don't like any kind of fresh meat. So I clean this, take out all the guts and the fat and the skin that we don't want. The only thing I left the skin on are the wings and the chicken feet. This is a whole chicken I would have cut up. Maggi came out with this product a while now, and it's called citrus wash. It works just as well as any type of citrus, but maybe lime or lemons. So this is what I'll be using to cut the citrus. And while in some countries they may just wash it with the citrus and rinse it immediately, we in Trinidad and Tobago, we like to leave our meats to soak in that citrus for at least 20 minutes, right? And some may even go longer. So I would be using the citrus wash today, and I'll be leaving it for about 15 to 20 minutes to make sure all the freshness has been cut out of the meat. We don't want a single ounce of freshness in our meat. We don't do that at all in Trinidad and Tobago. So stay tuned and I'll show you the process and how we make Trinistyle stewed chicken. So I would have added the citrus wash, and already you can see how the water is looking because it has begun to work on the chicken already. So I added the citrus wash into the water and I began to move my hands about to make sure the chicken is well coated with that citrus wash. You want to rub it into your chicken or whatever meat you'll be cooking, but chicken especially can be very fresh, and we want to get out everything. We rub our chicken like this with the citrus because we want to make sure it is washed properly. And after rubbing it with the citrus, some people will even put flour in at this time and even vinegar, right? I'm just using the citrus because I found it to be very effective, to each his own. The same effect basically. So after rubbing my chicken like this in the citrus wash, in and out, I'm going to leave it here for a few minutes, as I said, at least 15 to 20 minutes, and then I will come back to show you what I'll do next. Stay tuned. Alright, so this is after 20 minutes of soaking. I'm now going to throw the water and rinse it with fresh water. Okay, so my chicken has been washed over. I threw out the fresh water. I gave it a good rinse with running pipe water again, and now I'm going to be seasoning my meat. Okay, so in Trinidad we do not measure, right? We hardly ever measure. We just throw things in pots, right? So I'm going to add some salt to my chicken, just eyeballing. I'm going to add a little cinnamon. Usually we would use cinnamon sticks in stewed chicken. However, you can also use powdered cinnamon. This is our fresh seasoning, freshly ground green seasoning that I put in a bottle that I had there. Alright. Now we use a lot of green seasoning. We don't skim on our green seasoning. Right, I'm going to add a little oyster sauce. This is not customary, but this is just my little razzle dazzle here. As well as this ketchup. You don't have to do this, some people do, but I'm just showing you one of the ways we do our cooking. Right, usually I would use some Maggi all-purpose and flavor the pot. If you have that, you can add that at this stage. I am going to I ran out of those things, so I have to get in the supermarket. So I'll just use what I have. Right, I'll put some black pepper now. Right. And now I'll take my hands and season my meat. This is how we do it. Because today is a cleaning day for us. Saturdays we would usually, in my family, we would usually take our day a little slower. Growing up, it used to be Sundays in my mother's house, but everybody's family is different. Saturdays we take it a little slower, and Sundays we try to do all the work that we need to do. Right, so I am seasoning my chicken probably 7 o'clock in the night. Right, this is more like dinner. Right, now after this stage, let me show you what we do. We would take a knife and poke our chicken like this, and that is to make sure the seasoning gets in the creases and crevices of the chicken. That is how you make sure your flavor get into your chicken. So you poke holes like this. You could do it with a knife or a fork. Right? So when it's cooking, all the flavor and juices will go right back into the meat. Don't skip this part, you know, it is important. Right. So at this point you can taste the salt. Yes, we do taste our seasoning. Right. I am going to add a little more salt. You don't have to overdo it. Right, it's all about your lightness. And what we would usually do after this is leave this. Now if you can do this overnight, you should. It will give the chicken time, the seasoning time to, you know, soak into the chicken and marinate. Right, for the chicken to marinate. But if you didn't get a chance to do this the night before, you can leave it for at least 20 minutes to half an hour. And you know what, if you're really in a rush, you can just go ahead and cook it right away after this, but it's not recommended because in Trinidad, again, we need to make sure our seasoning marinates in our meat. Especially if we're doing catering and stuff, we need to make sure that that seasoning, you know, marinates. And not just a catering, in our own homes, cooking for our families, we need our meat to marinate. Right, so this process here, because I'm cooking dinner and I didn't get a chance to do this before because I've been busy all day doing housework, I didn't get to do it the night before either. I'm going to allow this to stay in the seasoning, to soak in the seasoning for at least 20 minutes, and then I will be back and I'll show you how we cook it. Right, so stay tuned. I think I mentioned before, if you have Maggi all-purpose seasoning and Maggi flavor the pot, and even Maggi chicken seasoning, or any type of all-purpose seasoning, Chief is also a good brand. I prefer Maggi. You want to add at least a teaspoon of each, right, in your meat, but you would want to add less salt because your seasonings are high in salt. Yeah? Okay, so my chicken has been marinating in the green seasoning for at least 20 minutes, and now I'm going to show you how I stew the chicken. Okay, so over in this pot I have some oil. Now you don't have to put oil because chicken has its own oil, especially that Thai meat have a lot of fat. However, we do this sometimes, but if you don't have oil, you do not have to do this part. You can totally skip this part and just add the sugar. So I'm going in with some sugar. Of course, I'll put the measurements and everything in the description. Right, so I put some sugar and I'm going to allow this to come brown. Over here I cut up some tomatoes and pimentos. We are going to be adding that along the process, as well as bay leaf. Back over to the pot. So you can totally leave this and allow it to get brown, and when all the sugar melts, then you can take your spoon and you can mix it around. But you can also do this to help the sugar melt faster. You want a golden brown color. You want to choose a golden brown color. So this will take a little while, but it can also happen very quickly, so you need to watch your pot. Very soon, you'll see this begin to bubble up, and it will come to a golden brown color. You have to be very careful because this can get black if you don't do this properly, and if you don't do it quickly. So you see how that is turning that nice caramel color so far? Right, so when it becomes, you'll have to move fast. When it comes to a golden brown color, you want to trim your meat immediately. So this is a nice golden brown color I'm talking about, and now you want to because if you take too long, your chicken will be bitter. You want to take your spoon and just make sure all the pieces get to that brown in the pot. I'm taping by myself today. I don't have my husband to help me with the taping, so forgive me. So, this is the chicken foot. It takes a little longer to cook than the rest of the meat, so bear in mind, even if the chicken is finished cooking and this is not yet soft, leave it a little longer. It's okay if your chicken is soft, right? That's fine. So, you want to leave this to spring its own water. So, what you want to do at this stage, you want to leave your chicken to get brown, because if you stir it, then you'll move it too fast and it will not get that desired brownness that you want, right? So leave it for a little while, let that side get brown, and then you'll take your spoon and turn it so that the other side can get brown. So here you would see, this is the green seasoning that remained in the bowl after transferring it to the pot to get brown. And this seasoning will be used in the meat again in the cooking process. So you're not going to add it now, because if you add this liquid immediately, then the chicken will not brown properly. So do not add the liquid. Just add the chicken, make sure the majority of the liquid is out of the chicken, and add it to the pot. Right, this will be used when the chicken is brown properly during the cooking process. You see how that is bubbling up? You want to take a spoon now and turn the chicken so that the other side can get brown. If you leave the sugar to get too brown, then the chicken will be bitter. You don't want that, right? If you find parts of your meat are still a little too white, don't worry. That will be sorted out when the chicken is finished cooking. However, if your chicken is finished cooking and it is still a little too white, not brown enough, the color of the chicken, which is supposed to be a golden brown color, then you can add some browning, or you can, if you have no browning, you can make your own browning. The same process. Right, so we are going to allow the side to get brown. Alright. And we'll be back. Okay fam, so you see that nice golden color you see in there? Nice. Now some people like their chicken darker than this. By all means go right ahead. Right, I don't like a very dark chicken. Right? So I'm going to leave that like that, and I'm going to lower the heat and cover the pot. What that is going to do is allow the chicken to spring its own water. When you lower the heat and you cover your pot, you're allowing the chicken in itself to spring its own water and juices. So when that happens, you're going to leave that for about 10 minutes, and then we're going to come back and I'll add some more water to finish cook the chicken, and I'll add the rest of ingredients that I'm going to be putting into my stewed chicken. Alright, so it has been 10 minutes and you see how much water is in that pot, and I added no water. That is because the chicken spring its own water. You see that? That is all the juices and flavor of the chicken. So I'm going to give this a turn, a stir. I'm trying to manage the tape and do this at the same time. I'm now going to add the rest of the seasoning that you saw that was remaining from the bowl. I'm going to add some bay leaves, 2 bay leaves to the pot, and I'm going to add my tomatoes and pimentos to the pot. The tomatoes give it a little body and flavor, and the pimentos add a really nice flavor to it. Now in the green seasoning it already has pimentos, however that little extra does really well. At this stage I want to add some water. At this stage I'll be adding some water to the pot, and I'm going to allow the chicken to continue to cook. So I'm going to cover it and allow it to bubble up and cook. So I forgot to mention that I'm raising the heat. I'm putting it on high because I lowered the heat just now to allow the chicken to spring its own water. Now I'm raising the heat because I added water to the pot and it needs to bubble up now. You need a high heat to bubble up that chicken and so that it will cook. And now I'm going to cover the pot. Okay people, so this has been boiling for about 15 minutes. I'm just going to give it a little toss. The liquid is beginning to evaporate while the chicken cooks. Right. I'm going to add some cinnamon. If you have cinnamon sticks, you can use cinnamon sticks. If you don't, you can use the cinnamon powder, like I am. I'm going to give that another toss. And I'm going to allow it to continue to cook. I'm going to cover it back. Alright family, so it's been cooking for another 10 minutes. And I added a sprinkle of coconut milk for flavor. You can totally omit this part if you don't care for coconut milk. And this is not a custom to put coconut milk in stew chicken, you know, but some people do. And I also added a little sugar for a little sweetness, right? Because I like my stew chicken with a little sweetness in it, nothing much. Right? I added about 1 tablespoon. And I'm going to allow that to continue to cook. You can taste the salt at this point in time. If the flavor is good for you, then alright. So allow that to continue to cook so that coconut milk can cook and it will begin to thicken up. It is already thickening up. So you can allow it to continue to thicken up and we'll be right back. Okay. So the chicken has thickened up enough because you want liquid. We usually eat this with rice, dumpling, provision, anything you want to eat it with, bread, bake, right? Macaroni pie. I just added some ketchup to add to the flavor. This is soft enough, this is good. And now this is the gravy you want. That is how you want it, because when this comes off, when I turn up the heat, it's going to thicken even more. Yeah? Now if you wanted, you could have added a hot pepper to the mix, but as usual I have a toddler, so I don't do those things. I eat my pepper at the side. I don't do those things anymore until he gets old and he has acquired his taste for pepper. Right? So this is it here. Coco Chan fam. This is the stew chicken. I hope you try the recipe. Let me know in the comments if you did and how yours came out. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, like and share the video to help me to grow my community. As usual, a family that cooks together stays together. Bye, love you. Mwah.